We are the Fourth. We are Southwest.
Charity is defined as the voluntary giving of help to those in need. The Rangers are the embodiment of this term. Year-round, the entire organization gives selflessly. Not only through monetary contributions, but by investing their time to ensure the betterment of our community. Tonight, we celebrate the act of giving in the spirit of charity.
Rangers baseball is presented by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. And a beautiful evening at Globe Life Park this evening, ready for the middle game of this three-game series. Rangers and Mariners and a couple superstars, very much in the spirit of things tonight here on Charity Night. Welcome in again, everybody. Great to be with you. I'm Dave Raymond. I promise Tom Grieve will be here very shortly. It is Charity Night, so we're going to look at these players and some of their charitable endeavors. We're also going to hear about Major League Baseball's initiatives, what Fox Sports Southwest is doing, and hear from the Texas Rangers Foundation. You'll see fewer commercials tonight, but on the plus side, you're going to get a little different perspective on the guys wearing uniform. We hope you'll enjoy it tonight, and we hope you enjoy the ball game as well. It's going to be a fun one as we welcome in Tom. And Tom, a great pitching matchup tonight because a lot of history between these two guys and these two teams.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Bartolo Colon against Seattle, he's had almost a one-season performance against them. 39 starts, maybe a little more than a full season. In those 39 starts, he's gone 21-12 with a 3.77 ERA. Pretty indicative of the kind of career that he's had. That's the most wins and losses against the Mariners of any pitcher. He's won 245 times in his career. He's tied with Dennis Martinez for the most wins by a Latin-born pitcher. All season long, he's shown his athletic ability for a big guy, beating fast runners to first base, fielding his position, good fastballs with great movement. He's really given a clinic all season long on how you should pitch. Started out a little bit better than he's throwing right now, but he'll be ready for the matchup tonight.
Well, he's entertaining every time he goes out there, and we say this a lot, but another chance at history tonight for Bartolo Colon. And on the other side, Felix Hernandez. He has a history with some of these Rangers, and he's, of course, one of the best in the game.
He's one of the best in the game, and he's also one of the greatest competitors in the game. It's all been a lot of fun to watch him pitch against the Rangers. He's had 56 starts against the Rangers. In his career, 19-24 with a 4.07 ERA. In his total career, he's 168, 123 with a 3.30 ERA. So the Rangers have had more than their share of success against King Felix. He's had his moments, but the Rangers have done pretty well against him. He's a six-time All-Star, two-time Cy Young Award winner. He's thrown a perfect game. His fastball's not quite what it used to be. His performance right now is not what it was in his prime, but on any given night, this guy's as competitive as they come. He'll go as hard as he can, and he's always a tough foe.
All right, so going to be a fun pitching matchup tonight. We're looking forward to that. And on the offensive side, we've really enjoyed watching Jurickson Profar lately. You know he's swinging it well. Might be something about Profar you're not aware of. We'll put him in the spotlight next. Rangers Baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. By Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. On the exterior of Globe Life Park, where indoors we're just about set to go. We're talking about Jurickson Profar as we were headed to break, and he's really done so many things well lately. Our Shiner Light Blonde spotlight on the versatile Jurickson Profar.
Yeah, it really is a rare player who can play all four infield positions as well as Jurickson has done. He's had a chance to play shortstop the most when he played there regularly for 2 months. But now he's kind of switching back and forth between first base and third base. And you can see the stretch, the hands. He looks like a first baseman. He's made some plays at third base, just like Adrian makes them. So to do the job that he's done, he's kind of a super utility player and done a great job for the Rangers.
You can see where he has played this year. The only player with 8 or more starts at all 4 infield positions this year in baseball. And, just a couple there at second base, the 9 of them, but all over the place, and he has really sparkled at each of them. So what a versatile tool he has been for the Rangers this year. We're set to go. Let's take a look at our starting lineup tonight for the Seattle Mariners. 65 wins and 48 losses. D. Gordon leading it off, Mitch Haniger in right, Denard Span in left field. Then it's Cruz, Seager, Healy in the middle of things for Seattle. Chris Herman does the catching, Cameron Maben in center, and Andrew Romine with the start at shortstop batting 9th. Well, that against Bartolo Colon, 5 wins, 10 losses, and a 5.18 ERA this year, making his 21st start of the season. So the big sexy ready to go, and so are we. Glad to have you along with us tonight. First pitch on the way, and this one rolled to second base. Odor right there, 1 away.
Take a look at our Shiner Light Blonde pitch arsenal for Bartolo. The first pitch of the game was a 2-seam fastball. You'll see a lot of them tonight, 65% of the time. He'll throw a 4-seam fastball. That's the one he tries to get up there at about 91 miles an hour. He'll throw some changeups and some sliders, but basically, if he's having success, he'll just stay with that 2-seam fastball. And the first batter was pretty predictable. Pretty predictable that he'd throw a strike, and pretty predictable that D. Gordon would swing at him. And fortunately, he had a ground ball right to second base. 1 pitch, 1 out.
It's kind of becoming one of the secondary stories of this series. We're anxious to see each of his at-bats. Really amazing, D. Gordon's approach. As we go 1-1 on Mitch Haniger. Colon looking down there at his landing spot after that pitch, falls behind 2-1. Only went 12 innings last night. Haniger ended up 2 for 6 with a double, a run scored, a couple of strikeouts. A winning run last night in the 12th inning. It was Haniger who ended up scoring that run on a Ryan Healy base hit. Haniger's double in that 12th inning, one of the real big moments. 2-2, and he'll lift this one high in the air out to right field. Gallo ranging back, but has room out there. There are 2 away.
Let's take a look at the Ranger defense tonight. It's delivered by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Take a look at the outfield first. Willie Calhoun getting a good shot to play left field. Carlos Tocci getting a shot to play center field with Delino out. Joey Gallo moving around a lot. He's in right field tonight. Adrian Beltre at third. Jurickson's at first. Up the middle, it's Elvis Andrus and Rougned Odor. And Robinson Chirinos will catch tonight.
So now Denard Span. And he's chasing strike 1. Span came in the game yesterday as a pinch hitter late in the ball game, then stayed in the game and played left field, ended up 1 for 2. Colon does not mess around, usually ready to go once he gets the baseball. You saw a fairly emphatic time call there just to make sure he did not throw. 1-1 the count. Span was kind of an early season acquisition for the Mariners. You mentioned it a little bit last night, but it was when Mariners went for Alex Colomé from Tampa Bay. And they also got Span in that deal. A deal that they made back in late May. Cologne's 1-2. And Bartolo, 45 years old. Rangers have used him a couple of times out of the bullpen. Primarily used as a starter, though, and a bouncer over to the right side. High hop for Odor. And he will throw out Span. 11 pitches needed in that first inning for Bartolo. Nicely done. A 1-2-3. And now the Rangers come to bat. The DH, Rougned Odor at second base, Elvis Andrus at short. Then batting cleanup, Adrian Beltre at third, Profar at first base, Joey Gallo in right field bats sixth. Chirinos catching, Willie Calhoun in left, Carlos Tocci rounds it out in center field. Against Felix Hernandez, 8 wins, 9 losses, a 5.49 ERA, making his 23rd start of the year. Well, it was 98 degrees at first pitch tonight. A little bit of a breeze, though. And Hernandez first offering, Chu going right after it.
Well, Felix has great success with his changeup. His changeup is generally 88, 89 miles an hour. Fastball's not 95 or 96 anymore like it used to be.
Fields that comebacker nicely and takes care of Chu on a way.
Let's look at the Shiner light blonde arsenal for Felix Hernandez tonight, or any night for that matter. 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball, less than half the time now. He throws a lot of curveballs and a lot of changeups. Off-speed pitches, if you count the slider, almost 60% of the time. There was a day where you'd see the 2-seam and 4-seam fastball probably 55 or maybe sometimes 60% of the time. But without the same velocity, he started to mix in his off-speed pitches more and more. And he's one of those guys that had pretty good off-speed pitches to fall back on.
And he works to Rougned Odor. And you see Odor's number. Now at the bottom of those numbers, you'll notice some little notes about some of the charitable work and involvement for Rangers players tonight. And we'll get into those things in more depth as we move along, but just a little, I guess, information for you there, a little directive so you understand why those things are showing up. Rugi was 0 for 4 yesterday with a walk and a strikeout. But before the ball game yesterday, was named the American League Player of the Week. And hits his ball hard, but up the middle. Romine, the shortstop, was positioned perfectly and throws him out, 2 away.
Let's take a look at the Mariner defense, which is brought to you tonight by Jack in the Box. Denard Span is in left. All-star Mitch Haniger is in right. Cameron Maben, newly acquired, in center field. Kyle Seager at third base. Ryan Healy at first base. Up the middle, Andrew Romine gets the start tonight. D. Gordon's at second. Chris Herman behind the plate. Mike Zunino getting the night off.
Well, here is Elvis. 2 quick outs to start the bottom of the first. Elvis was 1 for 5 in yesterday's game. And a good homestand for the Rangers shortstop, though. A couple of doubles, a triple. He's driven in 4. And working on a 17-game hitting streak. Currently the longest in Major League Baseball. At least active streaks in baseball. Hits his ball on the ground to shortstop. Romine again positioned well, and we played 1 scoreless inning tonight.
Action quite a bit over the last several years is Elvis Andrus. No one better with the kids than Elvis, and when it comes to charity, he is the guy to start with. And the Elvis Andrus Entourage is a program where Elvis provides tickets to home games for charities he supports, such as the Down Syndrome Guild of Dallas, Miracle League, Special Olympics, and the Taylor Cooten Foundation. As part of the program, Elvis provides dinner, goodie bags, and a special meet and greet session as well. Elvis participated in the 108 Stitches Let's Strike Out cancer t-shirts with the Sunshine Kids selected as his charity to receive a portion of the proceeds. And guys, if you've ever been on those hospital visits that we do around Christmas time, there is no one better than Elvis Andrus. No one puts a bigger smile on those kids' faces than Elvis.
Yeah, and that's probably would come as little surprise to anybody who knows Elvis.
No surprise, and it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. Elvis, it comes naturally to him. I've said this before. I've been on those same visits with Mitch Moreland and Derek Holland, and they were 2 of the best as well. They're not Rangers anymore, but they both had the knack of getting right down to the kids' level and making them feel comfortable.
Nelson Cruz rips this one into the left field seats. And so Cruz has started the scoring tonight with a solo home run. And Seattle on top 1-0.
Well, one of the most consistent power bats in baseball is Nelly Cruz. That's his 8th home run, his 15th RBI in his last 15 games. So not only is he consistent, he's capable of getting hot and carrying a ball club. We saw it when he was a Ranger time and time again. .112 miles an hour off the bat, 413 feet. A little more than an average shot for Nelly. Seen him hit him well over 450 feet. Seen him hit him into the deck above the restaurant out in left field occasionally as well.
His 30th home run of the year, and it has Seattle in front. Now Kyle Seager. 1-1 the count on Seager. And he has a little power as well. You see the 18 home runs, but the average just at 230. Yesterday, Seager 1 for 5 with a walk. Ball game Seattle yesterday, they took a 3-0 lead early on. Rangers fought back in the 7th inning to score 3 and tie it. And ended up going 12 innings before the Mariners finally eked out the 4-3 win. I suppose worth mentioning that big part of the story this year for the Mariners has been their success in extra innings and one-run games. They're now 9-1 in extra innings games. 2-2. It's a full count. Seager, very generally speaking, a dangerous hitter. Certainly Rangers fans know that he is extremely dangerous. And he hits this ball hard down the right field line, and that one is gone. Just short of the popcorn wagon. A full count pitch, and Seager makes it back-to-back for Seattle. They lead 2-0.
Well, before the Mariners came to Texas the day before, Seager hit a couple of home runs. He hadn't hit one in over 18 or 20 games. This one he hit kind of in Joey Gallo territory. That was pretty much right in his wheelhouse, right near the center square. Not exactly where Bartolo was trying to throw that ball, and almost beyond the seats where Joey hits him. 2 rows from going into the concourse. Seager has hit the ball really well on the road this year. That's his 41st RBI out of 61 that's come on the road, and 13 out of his 19 home runs have come on the road.
He has been a Rangers killer over the years. And he goes back-to-back with Nelson Cruz. Now Healy rolls one to shortstop. And that is the first out of the inning. Incidentally, that was the 3rd time this year that the Mariners had gone back-to-back. And now here is the catcher, Chris Herman. And Nelly Cruz, a bit of a Rangers killer in his career as well. Cruz now with 21 career home runs. Seager with 25 career home runs against Texas. Herman, one of a handful of left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight for Seattle, and he takes a strike. It's 0-2. You see the overall numbers for him. This is just the 21st game that he has played with Seattle. So short of 50 at-bats on the year. Off the plate, it's 2-2. Well, one thing I'm sure these Mariners hitters have in their scouting report is that Colon is going to test him. He's going to challenge him. This ball hit into right field, a base hit for Herman. Bartolo not likely to walk many. That's a big part of his game. He figures have him put it in play, let his defense do some of the work.
Obviously, in Bartolo's prime, when he was throwing the ball 95, 96 miles an hour, you have a little more margin for error when the ball comes near the center of the plate. With a fastball that frequently is 86 to 88 miles an hour, those same pitches in the same location are a little bit easier for the hitter. I think that's what we've seen in this inning. Cruz, Seager, and now Herman with that well-stroked single to right field. All 3 of those guys.
Herman a little bit off the bag down there at first, and Chirinos making sure he stays closer.
Big secondary lead. but back in time. But all three of the hitters who have had base hits have had pitches right near the center square. That good swings, and the barrel of the bat met the ball.
So Cologne with a man on, 1 out, dealing with Cameron Maben. Again, very concerned with Herman over there. Maben waiting on a 1-0. Rangers setting up for a ground ball. There's a strike. 1-1. Now our Kubota power stats on Bartolo Colon goes back to the idea of attacking hitters. 1.6 walks per 9 inning. Only Corey Kluber issues fewer walks per 9 inning in the American League. Well, Bartolo's going to be in that strike zone. Now, to your point, Tom, he doesn't want to be in the middle of the strike zone.
That's been the problem this inning.
Shooting for that corner there. Couldn't quite get it. It's 2-1.
At the beginning of the season, he was, after 6 starts, on May 16th, he was 2-1. His ERA was 2.82. And in those 6 starts, he was pretty much throwing the ball exactly where he wanted to. He had really good movement on his fastball, pinpoint command. The command right now is not quite what it was back then. He's kind of struggling to hit the area of the plate that he's trying to right now.
Well, Maben will be geared up here at 3-1. Maben, as a Seattle Mariner, 4 for 17. Earlier in the year with the Marlins, was hitting .251, had 3 home runs with Florida. Miami, or whoever they are these days. Runner goes. That one fouled off. It's a full count.
I mentioned that Bartolo is going for win 246 tonight, which would make him the all-time winningest pitcher born in Latin America. He's the all-time leading Dominican-born pitcher as far as wins go. Felix Hernandez is the all-time winningest pitcher from Venezuela. Not the first time they've matched up. 7th time, as a matter of fact. Pretty even matchup so far.
And some guys with some pretty good history against one another, and just generally speaking, they're very concerned with Herman. Turns out it is kind of an interesting day too for Bartolo to be shooting for an historic victory today, trying to pass Dennis Martinez for the all-time winningest Latin-born player. Runner goes. A slow roller foul again. August 7th, for whatever reason, has been one of those days. A lot of great or historic moments have taken place on this date. Frank Thomas hit his 300th home run. Wade Boggs his 3,000th hit. Greg Maddux got his 300th win on this day. It's a day that Barry Bonds hit home run number 756. Ichiro got his 3,000th hit today, and Mike Trout got number 1,000 a year ago today. Runner goes. Bouncer left side, and that one is through. And Maben battles and eventually reaches. Herman has to stop at second base, but 2 men aboard.
Kind of a high sinker. Maben still got on top of the ball, but the bouncer found a hole in the left field.
A productive 7-pitch at bat right there by Cameron Maben. And a visit for Bartolo. Torino's trying to give him a break here with that long walk back behind home plate. Big fella could use a ground ball. Well, here's Andrew Romine. 202 average for the season, and a bouncer right back to the mound. Cologne goes to second one. Off to first. Double play. So he gets the comebacker, turns 2. 1.5 in. Mariners lead it 2-0. Finale here with the Mariners. We invite you to come on out to Globe Life Park. A little midweek day game. We have first pitch underway at 1:05. And you can enjoy ballpark hot dogs for just $1 each. Go to TexasRangers.com for tickets or call 972-RANGERS. We'll see if the Rangers can maybe answer the 2 runs by Seattle in the top of the inning. Adrian Beltre to lead it off. Felix Hernandez very efficient in his first inning, and he finds the outside corner for a strike. See some of the family foundations that Beltre supports with his charitable contributions, and he shoots this one up to the right out of play for strike 2. Adrian's hitless in his last 10 at bats, and in fact has just 3 hits in his last 21 at bats, so the average has dipped a little bit. 5 homers, 33 RBIs for him, though. He spoils one. Hank gives a knowing glance and smile out to his buddy Felix Hernandez.
There's a close-up view at the curveball and the spin. Adrian hanging in there, saying, nice try. Try to get that curveball by me.
Oh, got him with that one. And Beltre strikes out to start the second.
Get back in the dugout, he's telling him. All that does is make Adrian a little more motivated so that he gets the best of him next time. Basically what happened on that curveball is it hung so much he couldn't hit it. The one before it that he fouled off was a much better pitch, really.
And these two, they've got a great history together. Of course, played together in Seattle and built a wonderful friendship there. But I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher laugh like that at a hitter.
No, because a pitcher wouldn't do that to a hitter unless he knew him as well as they know each other.
That was
And
phenomenal.
he knows it's coming right back at him when Adrian hits a line drive against him next time.
Well, one away here, and Jurickson Profar. 253 average, 11 homers, 57 RBIs. He's in a hole 0-2. It's fun to talk a little bit this afternoon to Jurickson about the journey he's been on and this job that he has done playing at all these different positions. You know, and I come at it from a different perspective, Tom. I didn't have to do what these guys do. But I asked him, I said, this has got to be kind of fun, right? Every day you come out to the ballpark, you don't know. You might be first, you might be third, you could be short. It's got to be kind of fun. Little added extra mystique every day. He smiled. He's like, yeah. It'd be cool to have my own position, too. It's hard. It takes a lot of extra work and effort to be ready every day.
Well, you know, what you have to do is you have to accept that this is the position you're in. Not going to play short every day. Not going to play second every day. Adrian's going to play third as often as he can. And so what you have to do is you have to do exactly what he's doing. Is put in that extra work and be prepared the best you can. But at the same time, I think any player would say it would be so much easier if I could come and only have to prepare for one position. But all three of those positions probably require a different glove. He may use the same glove to play third that he plays shortstop with, but probably a different glove to play second, definitely a different glove to play first. And then you're kind of torn between the percentage of the time that you practice at each position. Although now he's playing predominantly first and third. Elvis and Rugi are playing almost every day. So he's probably taking most of his practice at those positions.
Boy, smash up the middle, but a diving stop by D. Gordon. What a play. 2 away.
Well, he's got the quickness, and he needed it on that one because Jurickson hit that ball exceptionally hard. It looked like it was going to be by him. And then at the last second comes the lunge, and he catches the ball and stands up and makes the throw. If you looked at Jurickson's average this year, it's 253. I think he's hitting a solid 253. Some guys hit 253 and have 25 infield hits, 14 bloopers, and the 253 is actually kind of a weak 253. I think watching Jurickson all season long and seeing the way he's hit the ball, he's hitting a solid 253. In fact, I think with a little bit of luck one way or the other on the hard hit balls he's hit, it could be a little bit higher than that. Jurickson's a solid runner, but not an exceptionally fast runner, so there's not a lot of extra infield hits. Doesn't bunt very much. But he's hit a lot of balls hard that have been caught. Last night he hit one that would have won the ball game. Sky high to center field. Maben reached back up right at the top of the wall and caught it another foot, and the Rangers would have had a walk-off win. He would have had a home run instead of fly out to center field. And Maben is a really good defensive player.
And a strike to Joey Gallo to make it 3-1. In the spirit of charity night, the Seattle Mariners giving Joey the entire left side of the infield. 4 infielders on the right, all bunched up in short right field.
But don't you think it's really only charity if you're giving someone something they want?
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
Well, there's where Joey hits the ball, and you can see why they shade him to right field. 65% of the time the ball goes in the red area, and much less to the left side where it's green. So they are going to play the percentages and play him over that way.
Lights off yet another one. It's like you know, being at a casino anymore, and you kind of playing the odds a little bit. You can see the odds there, pretty obvious, and they're playing the odds to that right side. And Joey plays at a high stakes table, right? This isn't the $5 blackjack table we're playing at here, because he's trying to hit it out every time. He's all in, and they know it. And so the Mariners, they're all in on this one. And Gallo lifts this one a mile high in the air. Short center field, playable out there for Seager, and the inning is done. So we played 2. Mariners lead 2-0. youth in crisis, youth health initiatives, youth baseball programs, youth education. A lot of great stuff going on. And joining us now is Karen Morris, Executive Director, Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, Vice President, Community Outreach. And Karen, thank you for taking a little time with us tonight. Tom promises to take it easy on you. No tough questions for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's been a really busy time for you, though, and there's been so much going on with the foundation. But let's start with what's happening over in Dallas.
That's right. So back in 2015, we announced the plans to build a youth academy, and it opened completely in January of this year. And we've had 20,000 kids roll through the Texas Rangers MLB Youth Academy in West Dallas. And it's just a fantastic complex, and we've been really making changes in the lives of those kids in West Dallas and really greater North Texas.
Yeah, a lot of us have had an opportunity to go over and see the complex and participate in some of the events. It's unbelievable.
It's, the 5 fields are gorgeous. I mean, we tried to build a top-notch facility that has turf fields, and then we have a 38,000 square foot classrooms and weight room and indoor field that, bears Adrian Beltre's number. So the kids have top-notch facilities, and the really great stuff is happening on the field, but then also off the field with STEM programming and career exploration, leadership development, and after-school tutoring. It's really kind of a one-stop shop for these young people to really improve their situations.
Well, speaking of Beltre, makes a nice play at third to take care of Haniger.
And is that open all day long to anyone at any time, or are there certain times you have to go for certain programs? How's that work?
We run programming all day long during the summer. We really have staff on site from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. During the school year, most of the instruction's after school. So we'll run free leagues, but we also really focus on instruction. The idea being that we have top-notch instructors that are going to work with these kids and either give them an opportunity to play on their team, their high school team or a league team, or give them a league team if they don't have it. And it's great because we have Adrian, Josh Hamilton's names on one of the fields. We've had guys like Isaiah come down and work with the kids. So they see that these big league players also care about them, which makes such an impact.
Sure. Some of the guys used it in the offseason too for a workout facility just to get ready for the season, right?
Yeah, they came down. I hope this offseason we'll have more, because we did open in January, so it's a little late for the offseason. But it's set up so that a big league player could come out and work out there. The Oates field presented by Papa John's is virtually the same dimensions as this field. We wanted it to be as close to this field as possible, so they could definitely come down and work out there.
Now, Major League Baseball youth academies, they've been built in a handful of cities over the years. And when this one went up, the most recent one, it was fun because at the beginning of the year, we got to talk to the commissioner about it. It was Denard Spann. Rolls one to the wall in center field. That'll make it 3-0, and Spann with a second triple of the inning for Seattle. 3-0. But when he was here opening day, of course, he went to a number of different events and whatnot too, but we had him on TV and he said, it's the best. It's the best one we've seen. I mean, that's got to make you really proud.
It is. It is. I mean, it's a $50 million complex. Our ownership really felt strongly that they wanted to build something that was truly, a legacy and would be there forever. And, our players got behind it, and our partners like Toyota and Papa John's got behind it. But also, I think the off-the-field stuff, we have a great partnership with Buckner International, and Buckner's providing what they call a family hope center, so that we're not just taking that young man or woman and giving them the opportunity to play, but we're transforming their families and working with their parents to, on GED and financial literacy and just soft skills, is interviewing, all of those things. So I think that's what takes the academy kind of from the baseball and softball elements to really, truly transforming communities.
Well, Cruz, another blast down to third and another real nice play by Beltre. 2 gone here in the third inning. All right, well, it's not just the academy. There's the softball grant program. You guys do a lot of work around the communities, refurbishing playing fields for youth all around, not just out there in Dallas.
Absolutely. A lot of our programs are based here in North Texas, but we know we have fans, from Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, New Mexico. So our Global Life Texas Rangers baseball and softball grant program that Fox Sports Southwest is so kind to support provides baseball and financial grants to all of those areas. So we provided over 60 grants to date and totaling almost $500,000 to help refurbish anything from a dugout to an awning to batting cages to equipment to getting a program started for a high school or a smaller town. So we feel very strongly that the communities that support us, we need to support them. And that doesn't mean just here in North Texas. That's really throughout the Rangers territory.
Every year you guys take applications on that. I don't know if it's inappropriate because I know it's closed this year Is it too early for folks to start thinking ahead? And
No, we're announcing this year's grant recipients in just a few weeks, but the application and information can be found at texasrangers.com/grants any time of year.
Okay, all right, wonderful. Karen, you stay with us another half inning?
Absolutely, we love it.
Okay, Karen Morris with us. We'll be back for the bottom of the third in a moment. Executive Director, Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, with us here. All right, we were just talking about the, what were we just talking about?
We were talking about the grant program.
The grant program, Karen. All right, we've got a little picture here, and I want you to help explain what we're looking at.
Sure. Well, one of my favorite parts of what we do with the Globe Life Grant Program is not only do we provide financial grants, but we bring people to you. So the picture on the screen is actually when we went to Sam Houston High School in Arlington this January, and you can see Jared Sandler and Drew and Austin were there. And it's so fun to bring the players to the schools, to the places that we're benefiting, and have them have a chance to hear from big league players and broadcasters and talent, and just get to, to see that the Rangers do truly care about everyone in our community and want to be able to give back. And in that instance, those were the baseball and softball players from that high school, so it was really neat to have that kind of bonding time with those kids.
Oh, very cool. And obviously, just the two initiatives we've talked about a little bit here tonight seem like enough to keep a person busy for a year, but it's not the only thing you guys are doing. I know there are like 1,000 different initiatives that you guys participate in, but can you walk us through maybe some of the other items?
Sure. I mean, one of our crown jewels is our Rangers Richard Green Scholars Program, which has been around since 1997 and provides college scholarships to Arlington juniors and an incredible internship program. We also support the Miracle League. For example, this past Saturday, we were all at Miracle League South Lake with a bunch of our current players and working with those great kids. We do fitness programs in high schools and elementary schools. Our goal is to really develop strong partnerships, so with great charities like Mission Arlington, the Just Keep Living Foundation, and do as much as we can to impact as many kids in a meaningful way.
All right, now what about all the different charities that the individual players have, right? Because I mean, you have your things that you want to take care of, but then all these guys, I mean, Robinson's a good example. He's very involved in a number of different charities. You guys, I mean, you got to take a little time to get involved in those too, right?
Absolutely. The Rangers Foundation is so lucky because really through the leadership of our ownership and John Daniels, those players really support our foundation, but then in turn, we're able to support the things that they're passionate about. So if it's Robinson and his backpack drive, or it's Elvis Andrus with his support of Special Olympics and the Miracle League, we do have a roster full of guys that are very passionate about giving back, and we always appreciate being able to come alongside them and give back as well.
Now there's some big individuals, important individuals. We just saw a shot up there a moment ago. Ray and Neil and Pudge hanging out, very active. In fact, it's funny, we do so many of these visits as Chirinos takes the walk. There's Ray Davis and Neil Liebman and Pudge. And, we go to the hospitals and stuff around the holidays. Last year, I went around with Ray Davis. I mean, here's the owner of the ball club, and he's taking time around the holidays. I mean, I know there's a lot for these guys, a lot on their plates as well, but they take time out of their schedules and and try to give back, you know, because that's one thing to give money for people, especially for people who have a lot of money. But it's another thing to provide the time.
Absolutely, and I think that, you know, that's a testament to who they are as individuals and who the Rangers organization's about. You know, Friday night's game got over at 11 o'clock, and Saturday morning you've got Jeff Bannister, Steve Buechele, you know, Austin, Tony Barnett, Matt Bush, all at Miracle Lake for 2.5 hours in the sun working with kids, you know, among others. So I think that's just the example that ownership and leadership has set, and our players just jump right on board and love giving it.
Calhoun with a base hit, first 2 men aboard here in the 3rd inning for the Rangers. So do you spend time, you know, just brainstorming new ideas too, or is it too hard?
You know, we do. You know, we want to make sure that what we're doing is filling a need, and that we know that we're not the experts in it, so which is why we develop these great partnerships with folks like Buckner and Mission Arlington. But we want to make sure that we're timely. You know, we're starting some new programming this fall, which you'll hear about through MLB. That's an anti-bullying program. So we're always trying to, you know, work with partners to find ways to impact our schools and impact young people. And then on top of that, we're also big supporters of our veterans and the military and their families and first responders. So we're always trying to, you know, make an impact in new ways, in ways that are sustainable and create long forms of change.
All right, so last thing for you, Karen. And by the way, I kind of want to keep you here a little while longer
because we're doing.
I don't want to say too much, but things seem to be working out right now. You know, for people out there thinking, we have big events and they're fun. I mean, these are the big gala. You know, usually in May is a lot of fun. A lot of events where we help raise some money to fund the foundation and do some of these projects. But what about folks who maybe haven't been doing an event before, aren't familiar with some of those avenues? What if there's somebody out there right now saying to themselves, by George, I like that Karen Morris. I like what she's doing. I want to get involved. I want to help out.
The simplest way is texasrangers.com/foundation, and there's an opportunity there for you to donate money, but there's also an opportunity there for you to register to donate your time. It has a lot of information about our fundraising events. Our next one is our golf tournament, which is in September, presented by Dasani. But our triple play event, if you've never been, I can't speak enough to how our players really get engaged. It's a great way to kind of get a sneak peek at their personalities in a fun setting. But it's, you know, any donation helps. Even so simply as coming to the games and purchasing tickets in the Texas 2 split really helps the foundation and helps us build the academy and helps us be able to give back to these nonprofits that we work with.
That is awesome, and so much good work being done. Now, Karen, the question is, can you get him over the hump here in this half inning?
I hope.
Well, Chu's going to have to hustle. He gets a run home. 3-1, so the Rangers on the board. That little rollout. All right, well, we'll look forward to the golf tournament. That's the next big event on the schedule.
Next, yep, September 13th. Okay. TexasRangers.com has all the information, but it's at the Four Seasons, and it's a great event. Tom and hopefully a lot of our alumni join us there at the event every year, and so it's a great opportunity to golf with some of your favorite alumni and raise money for the foundation.
Well, it's challenging to convince Tom to go out and golf. Say that from personal experience. Is Felix Hernandez being attended to here? Let's take another look at that play and see what happened as he went into the bag.
It's probably going to happen right here. The way he twisted his foot on the base, if I had to guess. Made the play at first base. Run scored.
He'll have an opportunity to throw a few off the mound just to see how the foot reacts. I'm sure that's just kind of a scary moment at first for him. A little bit of a limp. But a run in, importantly, for the Rangers. And my guess is Felix will hang in there. And he does. Well, Karen, thank you very much for the time tonight. Really appreciate the conversation and the update on everything. And we're going to hold Tom to that golf day.
Well, thank you. And thank you to the Rangers fans for being so supportive of the foundation for so many years. We do take very seriously the role we play in this community, and we thank them for trusting us with their dollars and their time and their talents.
Right on, right on. All right, Karen Morris, Executive Director, Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, VP of Community Outreach for the Rangers, and a very, very busy lady. Odor slashes one foul. one away, a run in. The Rangers with tying runs in scoring position. So not to put you on the spot, Tom, but she brought up the point, you know, the next morning, sometimes after a game, guys are out doing these events. Is this one lined out to left field? That's a base hit. That will tie the game. Calhoun and Tochi score. Odor to second base with a 2-run double. And we're all square at 3. And Rougned Odor stays hot.
Well, that's generally how he does it when he's hot, is hit the ball the other way when it's appropriate. Got a pitch out over the plate, tailing away, down and away. Generally speaking, when you see a ball down there, you think it's a pretty good pitch. But Rugi drilled that ball, almost got it by Span in left field. Men at second and third, both scored easily. The Rangers have hit the ball hard this inning. Willie Calhoun's single to center was smoked. That double was smoked. So the Rangers doing it a little bit differently than the Mariners did. They had back-to-back home runs, and then they had 2 triples in one inning. Rangers are doing it more with singles, doubles, and walks.
Getting more out of less in some regards. Here's Andrews, and he takes a little bit high, ball 1. Elvis grounded out in the first inning. But you know, after a game, middle of the season, and you heard Karen talking about it. We read about it, you see about it. Of course, we've been involved with it ourselves. But you know, guys go out and are taking part in these activities during the day before they then come out to the ballpark to go to work. Ground ball through the hole into left field. That's a base hit. Odor wave to the plate, and the Rangers have their first lead of the night. Andrews extends his hitting streak to 18 games, and it's 4-3.
Rangers are swinging at this inning. Felix was 6 up, 6 down in the first 2 innings. But the Rangers are pretty much on him in this inning. Rugi's going to score easily on that. And the Rangers having a pretty good inning.
Hernandez, remember, he tweaked his ankle just a little bit on that play, retiring Chu at first base. Has since given up the double and the RBI single. And it has not been real smooth sailing for Felix Hernandez this year. He has had his fair share of struggles. We talked about his numbers earlier in the broadcast. He looked really good in the first 2 innings, but the Rangers getting to him here in the 3rd. He brings up his old buddy, Adrian Beltre. He struck out Beltre in the 2nd inning. Odor hit his double, 102 miles an hour off the bat. Andrews, sharply hit ball. Earlier in the inning, Willie Calhoun hit his over 100 miles per hour as well, 103. Ground ball, shortstop. Scoop over to second for 1, and the relay to first in time for the double play. So the inning is done, but the Rangers pick up 4 runs, and they've taken the lead. As we go to the 4th inning, it's 4-3.
are in the house, and that means Liz Cambage just a couple weeks removed from her WNBA record-setting 53-point performance against New York, and she was throwing out the first pitch tonight, has been gracious enough to join us tonight. First of all, Liz, fill us in on what the Wings are doing right now, where we are in the standings, how things are going as we make the final push to the postseason.
We're in the middle of the pool, and you know, we've had a few losses lately, but we're getting it together, and we're about to get some wins heading into playoffs.
53 points. It's quite impressive.
Yes.
A WNBA record. What was that like for you?
It was pretty big. It was a pretty big deal, you know, but we got so many games here in the WNBA, it was on to the next game straight away. But it was really nice to set that record and have a lot of love from a lot of people all around the globe. So thank you, everyone, for that.
And it got you out here to the ballpark to throw out the first pitch tonight. Take us through any nerves out there on the mound?
I have never thrown a baseball ever in my whole life. Wasn't too great, it wasn't too bad, and this is my first baseball game as well, so thank you all for having me tonight.
I will tell you, you did outstanding, and the best was when the guys were yelling from the outfield when Tony Beasley brought you the ball and they had to take the picture. What did he tell you before?
He said he was going to look after me with my throw if I tried to shrink myself down for a photo with him afterwards. But yeah.
And so Elvis and them are yelling from the field, Tony, stand up, Bees. And so anyway, it was a fun time. I hope you had a good time. We enjoyed having you out here. We're proud of what you've done, and we wish the Dallas Wings the best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, and good luck to you guys for the rest of the season as well.
Thanks very much, Liz. Guys.
Good day, mate. That's awesome.
Good day, mate.
Go. Yeah, 53 points in the game. Tom, did you play basketball in high school?
Sure.
I bet you did.
Sure.
What position?
I was probably more of a shooting guard type guy. My strength was probably defense, rebounding. One thing I was not afraid of, though, I wasn't afraid to shoot.
Oh.
My shooting percentage probably wasn't as good as it could be. And I didn't really need an open shot either.
You were a chucker.
Yeah, pretty much.
1 and 2 on Chris Herman. So did you ever have what was the biggest, in terms of points, biggest night you would have had?
In high school?
Yeah.
I probably averaged maybe 14 points or so.
Okay.
And I might have had a game where I got 25 or 26 points. I never had a game anything close to 35 or 40 points. I wasn't that kind of scorer.
I think averaging in the double digits is pretty good. You know, in high school, that's the other thing too. We always forget about high school. It's not like the games are 98 to 94.
No. And you know, our games, there was no three-point line, and it wasn't really up and down the court, shoot every chance you get. There was a lot of defense being played, a lot of ball movement. So a typical score in one of our games might have been, high-scoring game might have been 71 to 58. And most of the games were probably in the 50s though.
First strikeout of the night for Bartolo Colon as he gets Herman looking. 2 gone here.
When Bartolo gets 2 strikes, he likes to come to the lefties right there. Throw it inside. You can see the movement on the ball, the spin, and it comes back just far enough to really fool Herman. Thought there's no way that could be a strike, but I think when he goes back and looks at it, he'll see that it wasn't a great pitch to hit, but it actually did come back and catch the inside corner. How about you? You look like you played a little hoops.
Yeah, I averaged double digits in turnovers.
Double-digit turnovers?
Yeah, no, I had some tough nights.
If you average double-digit turnovers, you must have had, your father must have been the coach.
There would be nobody else on that team. Cologne takes care of it and gets Maben for a 1-2-3 inning. Yeah, no doubt. 4-3, Rangers on top. We got to go. And she said, you keep egging me on. we'll end up there. There's a bouncer down the first baseline. Fair ball. And Felix Hernandez covering. One away. Nice play by Healy. I'll bring up Joey Gallo. Not only does Gallo deliver those monster home runs here, he delivers on the charity side as well. He's donated New Balance turf shoes to area high school athletes through Arlington ISD Athletics. Also participates in the Texas Rangers Winter Caravan. And a big part of what he does in the offseason and during the season. Another engaging personality. Boy, when he gets out there with the young people, totally gets it. You know, the guys gravitate toward him. And he takes ball one. Gallo popped up in the second, 0 for 1. Hernandez had fallen behind him, I think 3-0 in that at bat before eventually getting him to pop out. And he falls behind him here 2-0. So not real aggressive against Joey. And not real surprising either. We've seen a lot of teams try to get him to chase pitches outside of the zone. There was a stretch this season when he was a little more accommodating that way, but lately he's been much more willing to watch the bad pitches, work the count, take the walks. There's ball 4. I mean, he never saw a strike in that at bat.
Well, you look at what he's done since the All-Star break. This is his 14th game since the All-Star break, and that's his 13th walk. So that's a nice trend. He also hit 7 home runs and knocked in 16 runs in those 14 games too. The key, I think the key to Joey is don't worry about the strikeouts, and he doesn't. He knows they're going to be there. But just be a little more patient and work the walks. And again, if he can walk 75 to 90 times and maybe eventually even up to 90 or 100 times, then the on-base percentage gets up in the 360, 380 range. And you really stop talking about the strikeouts, because the on-base percentage is what you want to see, especially if you're hitting 40 home runs, knocking in 90 or 100 runs. He's already hit 40 home runs. He'll probably hit 40 this year. And he's making progress toward a much better on-base percentage.
This one hit on the ground toward third base, and Seager just whiffed it. Gallo got a great start, and he's a good runner. And he gets to third base on this single by Chirinos. I say single. We'll wait and see. That is an error.
And that's another thing that Joey has going for him that past sluggers, if you think about big, strong 40 home run guys, don't have, is that he's a good base runner with good speed. Seager's usually pretty sure-handed, but he missed that one. That would have been an easy double play. And there's Joey running the bases. You know, most guys like Joey don't run well, would never even have taken one step past second base on that ball, stayed right at second. They're stuck at maybe first base or DH. They're an automatic double play if they hit a ground ball.
Blasted to center field by Calhoun. And it gets Gallo to the plate. A sac fly. But very nearly flew over the head of Cameron Maben. It's 5-3.
Well, Willie has hit 2 balls to center field right on the screws. His first base hit to center field was hit a little bit harder than that line drive, but that one was hit pretty well too. Maben playing pretty deep center field. Takes a step in and has to go back a couple of steps. Both of those balls are the kind of balls that if Willie just got them elevated a little bit, would have been right up in the grass in center field.
So Tochi now bunted his way on in the third inning. Loaded the bases at the time. And eventually would score on the Rougned Odor double. 5-3, Rangers on top. And it's 1-1.
And this is kind of an entirely different kind of matchup when you watch Colon and Hernandez pitching today. You went back 7 or 8 years, 10 years when Felix first came up. Bartolo was throwing hard.
A tough play in the hole, but they go back to second base, force out Chirinos. The inning is done. Rangers pick up a run. They lead it 5-3 as we go to the 5th.
Benefiting the Children's Cancer Fund, and so we thought this would be the perfect chance to honor one of those kiddos who benefits from the Children's Cancer Fund. Tatum Teague with our fan of the game. Look at that smile. If that doesn't deserve it, I don't know what does. Tatum, how old are you, sweetie?
7.
7 years old. Who's your favorite Ranger?
Chew.
Who's your favorite Ranger? And you know what? I really like your dress because I think we kind of match tonight.
We do.
Here's your goodie bag. Up top? Atta girl. Guys.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats, Tatum. Of course, had she known somebody else would wear that dress tonight, maybe she would have chosen to wear something else.
No, I think it's perfect. Might have played a part in getting on TV.
She knows her audience. All right, Andrew Romine bounced into a double play his first time up and takes one outside. 2-0 the count. Romine, the Mariners shortstop tonight, batting 9th, switch hitter. And he shoots this one into left field. That's a base hit. The Mariners have the lead man on in this 5th inning. And we go back to the top of the order for D. Gordon. And it's a perfect time for our WinStar World Casino and Resort leaderboard. How about the number of home runs, or rather at bats without a home run? D. Gordon right now the longest homerless drought in Major League Baseball. 411 games. He tripled though earlier tonight. That was in the 3rd.
Yeah, that's his best bolt. He hit that ball pretty well.
Dropping a bunt this time, and Cologne will take care of it. Gets Gordon easily. But Romine now at second base on the sacrifice.
And Bartolo fields his position better than most pitchers. And so you might, as a hitter, think that it's an easy base hit if you lay down a decent bunt. But that's not true. We saw the double play he turned on Romine to end the 2nd inning. You know, not that that's a perfect bunt, but still. Gordon gets down to first base as fast as anybody. Got him easily. Ball that he turned into a double play that smashed back to him in the 2nd inning. I'd say half the pitchers in baseball don't even touch that ball. It goes right straight into center field for a base hit. And that was with a couple of men on and only 1 out after 2 had already scored.
Now Haniger with the man at second. And he takes a strike. Bartolo, he's got quick feet. And we see it sometimes in the pickoff moves or even the dekes back to the bases. And you definitely see with his reaction on balls hit near his space on the field. 0-2. And the Mariners should know better than anybody some of his defensive prowess. This was in Seattle earlier this year, and Bartolo took it on the belly. After the game, people asked him about that one. He said, well, it hit me in the gut. Because it was a good thing I got a big gut and I know how to use it. No big deal.
Well, that one was hit so hard he couldn't get his glove on it, but he was in position to get his glove on it. Didn't hit him in the side, didn't hit him in the back. He was squared up to that ball.
And this one gets away from Chirinos. Romine will head to third base. A wild pitch. And that could end up being a meaningful base right there. You hate to give those up. But ahead of Haniger, a ball and 2 strikes. Colon only has the 1 strikeout so far tonight. Just a little bit outside. That's not a big part of his game. He's not going to strike out a lot of guys these days. Just as we pointed out earlier, he's not going to walk a lot of guys. He's a pitch to contact kind of pitcher now, as a 45-year-old veteran. Two-two. That's a full count. Haniger, one of only 2 Mariners so far tonight without a hit. In fact, they have 7 hits by 7 different players. Haniger and Ryan Healy still looking for their first hits of the night. Bartolo's 3-2. High fly ball, medium deep left field. Calhoun is there in position to make the throw. Romine tags and he will score. So a sac fly, and it's a 1-run game. And definitely that wild pitch now had some impactful meaning on the inning.
Well, Haniger made the All-Star team this year. That's his 70th RBI. He came into the game tonight 7th in the American League in RBIs. A pretty good year for the Mariners last year too. Didn't get a chance to have as many at bats as he has this year. Definitely played himself into a real solid big league regular, an all-star for that matter.
Now Span had the RBI triple in the 3rd. Puts this ball on the ground, second base, right to Rougned Odor. And these days he's pretty sure-handed. Takes care of Span. We will go to the bottom of the 5th, halfway there tonight. It's a 1-run game. Inroads on him offensively. 5 runs on 4 hits. The first offering to Chu is outside for a ball. Now this season, Chu donates donates a $5,000 scholarship to an incoming senior at the 6 Arlington high schools, and those scholarships going toward those first year of college for those seniors. His giving back does not stop there. He's made donations to the South Texas disaster relief efforts, Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation. He's hosted Korean adoptees and their families to Rangers games throughout the season. And he participated in Korean Heritage Night, signing autographs and exchanging gifts. Hernandez off the plate. That's ball 4, and he puts Chu aboard in this 5th inning. Chu's one of those guys. I mean, he's involved all over the place. When the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, were held in Pyeongchang this last winter, he took part in the Olympic torch relay in his hometown. And then, you know, it's always, to me, Tom, it's the stuff that, well, those are the things we see on the surface, right? Those are the things that show up in print and everywhere else. But it's funny, the little situations that arise. I was renting a car in Arizona during spring training, and the gal checking me out asked me, said I was working for the Texas Rangers. This one lifted out to right field, and the door flies out for the first out of the inning. She said, "Oh, do you know Shin-Soo Chu?" I said, "Oh yeah, of course I do." And she told me the most unbelievable story about Chu and her mom, who was Chu's nanny when he was in Ohio. Her mom took care of Chu's children. Well, she was diagnosed with cancer. Couldn't afford it. Didn't have insurance. Chu paid every one of her medical expenses. Took her on vacations with the family.
Wow.
Completely took her in his family and took care of her. Amazing. And you know, those are the things you don't know. I asked him about it later in spring training, and he was almost overcome remembering. She passed away several years later.
You
was
only
such a
knew
big
that
part of his life
because you were renting a car.
Yeah, exactly. But those are the things that come out sometimes about guys you just don't, you wouldn't know otherwise, and they're not going to bring it up and tell you about it. But some awfully big hearts. A lot of these guys wearing those uniforms down there. And Chu's certainly one of those guys. One out here. Andrus has already extended his hitting streak. And takes that one off the plate, 1-1. He had a RBI single in the 3rd, and so Elvis now with an 18-game hitting streak. Only Michael Brantley with a longer hitting streak this year in the American League. And Elvis' streak, the longest active right now in Major League Baseball. Bouncer at third base. Seager goes to second for the force out there, and that's the only one they'll get. 2 away. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. Here, a 1-run game as Adrian steps in against his old buddy Felix Hernandez. And he bounces this one left side. That one caroms off Seager and into left field. Andrus got a good start. He's at third. Rangers have him on the corners with 2 out.
Kind of a semi-playable ball that you would think would be a base hit. Not an impossible play to make. Pretty good sinker. Seager gets his glove to it, but it missed the middle of his glove, went off the top of his glove. Kind of a borderline call for an official scorekeeper.
A tough night so far now for Seager, charged with his 2nd error of the night.
Yeah, if I was a hitter, I sure would like to get a hit on that, but can't argue with the call.
Now Profar, who is 0 for 2. Runners on the corners. Rangers would love an insurance run or 2 here. Scored 4 runs in the 3rd inning, a run in the 4th.
Seager coming into the game had only made 7 errors. He's had 2 of them tonight. Jurickson is due for a blooper. Get that smash that D. Gordon made a nice play on. Last time up, he had a hard ground ball that Ryan Healy made a pretty good play on right down the line.
One. Whoa, inside, and good job by Herman just to keep that one close and prevent Andrews from scoring.
Nice play.
Favorable hitters count. This ball hit well, high in the air out to right field. Will it have enough carry? It does! Off the facade of the upper deck. Profar with a 3-run shot. 12th home run of the year for Jurickson. Rangers lead at 8-4.
A third hard hit ball for Jurickson, and Jurickson has gone from a guy trying to establish himself as a big league player, trying to become a solid major league hitter, and now he's becoming a force in the middle of the lineup. That's his 60th RBI of the season. He takes that hanging breaking ball, and he's hit probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 balls to right field here over 400 feet. A couple of them 420, 425. That was a big one for the Rangers, big one for Bartolo Colon to give them a couple of extra runs, and another case of the Rangers taking advantage of an error by Kyle Seager in this game. They got an unearned run in the 4th.
Yeah, that's a good point. That error really changes this.
3 right here.
8-4. Gallo walked his last time up. Hammers this ball to right field, but foul. My, oh my. That is a long strike. Incoming, ladies. To say they did not expect that tonight might be an understatement.
If Jurickson finishes strong, he's going to hit 16, 17, 18 home runs, knock in maybe 80 runs. And that will pretty much establish him as more than a solid big league player. Might establish him as a regular. Again, he's not a regular at one position right now, but he's playing every day.
This ball up the middle, base hit. And Gallo serves it to center field, and he'll take a hard turn, but hold there with a 2-out single.
The catcher, Robinson Chirinos.
That brings up Robinson Chirinos. Robinson, our TXU Energy power player to watch. Walked and reached on an error tonight, but last 17 games hitting .305 with 4 homers and 12 RBIs. His OPS on base plus slugging at .990. And he takes a strike.
This whole season for the Rangers is, in addition to being about winning as many games as you can win, it's been about development and young players getting an opportunity. And I think one of the players that's taken advantage of that and developed into a player that is a keeper for the future, without a doubt, is Jurickson Profar. I don't think the Rangers really knew exactly what they had coming into this season, because he'd really never had a chance to show them what he was capable of. And it took an injury, but he took advantage of the injury to Elvis and played every day for a couple of months at shortstop, and then earned the right to play every day, whether it's third base, giving the middle infielders a rest, or playing first base. And when the season's over with, they will know what they've got in Jurickson Profar, a guy that could be a regular at any of the infield positions. And, you know, once you start zeroing in on 20 home runs and 80 or 90 RBIs, you're starting to provide the kind of offense that could play first base if that was the position that was open to you. Not like he's limited to the middle infield based on being a 240 hitter who hits 8 home runs and knocks in 35 runs.
And your point about being an everyday player, today the 100th game that he has played in. And for the Rangers, this is game number 115. I mean, that's about as everyday as you can get.
Yeah. You know, you don't like to make predictions or go out on a limb, but I would go out on a limb and say whatever he's hitting right now will be as low as he ever hits again. Dumb to say those kind of things, but just looking at all the at-bats he's had this year, switch hitter. He's got the knack for fouling off tough pitches, tough at-bats, sees a lot of pitches. He's going to walk more and hit more.
And might have gotten a piece of Chirinos.
Got a piece of the catcher too after it hit Robinson, looked like.
Game of Plinko back there. So Gallo at second now. Let's take another look. Yeah, got him on that forearm. They got a piece of him. Look out.
That pitch wasn't going very fast, but it hit each one of them in a spot that didn't feel very good.
It doesn't have to go real fast.
That's for sure.
So
Well, Willie's killed the ball twice. Base hit, sacrifice fly. He's been right on 2 high pitches.
Boy, ever since the second inning, it has been a real struggle for Felix Hernandez to retire anybody. And as you point out, Calhoun's made some good contact, but hits this one straight up in the air. Near third base, Seager into foul ground. And that'll do it for the inning, but the Rangers score 3 more. We played 5 complete. Big night for Jurickson Profar. The Rangers lead it 8-4. Rangers baseball is brought to you by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. And by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%. Monday and Tuesday, August 13th and 14th. Just a quick 2-game series. I want you to come on out to the ballpark. See a little interleague play against a team right now leading the National League West Division. Great seats still available. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com. Well, the season ended today. The Diamondbacks will have won the National League West. Of course, the season doesn't end today, and they may well end up way out in the National League West. Dodgers a half game back coming into play today. Nelson Cruz leading it off here in the 6th inning for Seattle. And Cologne goes to 1-1 on it. The 70th pitch of the night for Cologne, and misses off the plate. He's given up a home run to Nelson Cruz. That was back in the second. Also got him to ground out to third base. Fly ball slicing away out there in center field, but Tochi runs it down, one away. Well, earlier today, the Rangers and the city of Arlington unveiled the Going to the Show statue in the North Plaza of Texas Live and Globe Life Field. This one commemorates the club's first trip to the World Series. Benji Molina was there to help unveil it today. So a lot of fun earlier today. Texas Live opening, what, 2 days from now.
Are we guessing that that's Benji Molina as part of the statue?
Yeah, I think that's Benji and Neftali Fleas.
The end of the famous playoff game.
A strike to Seager, who has a home run tonight. Good night at the plate so far for him, but 2 big errors in the field that have changed this game a little bit.
Sure have.
In fact, all 3 of the runs for the Rangers in the 5th inning now are unearned because of his error. Seattle outlasted the Rangers yesterday in 12 innings. 4-3 was the final score last night. Seattle had to use 7 pitchers out of their bullpen, though. Seager hits this one well. Out to right field. Gallo on the run, and just enough room out there. Tracks it down for the second out of the inning. Yeah, no big deal.
First baseman Ryan.
Saw Joey playing center field the other night. He's in right field tonight. No problem running that ball down right in front of the wall. Seen Joey the last month make some great throws too.
I think he's at now 5 outfield assists since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And he's had to switch positions. First time in his career that he's played right field. He's done a lot of that for the first time since the All-Star break. And as you mentioned, center field yesterday. We talked so much about Profar and his ability to move around the diamond, and Gallo kind of slips to the back of our consciousness that way. They've used him all over the place.
I think if you take a look at Joey's physical attributes, the one position that to me stands out above all the others is where he's playing right now. He just looks like a prototypical right fielder. Big, strong, athletic, good arm, above average arm, solid speed. It just seems if he had the opportunity to play one position, that would be the best one for him. Again, he's also in a position where he has so much versatility. He ends up doing what's best for the team, just like Jurickson does, just like Kiner Falefa does. They've got a lot of guys that can play a lot of positions, but given the opportunity to play one, I think right field would be his best one.
Well, Bartolo Colon, another 1-2-3 inning, just a dozen pitches in the 6th. He's up by 4. Jeff Bannister's charity endeavors include designing a Texas Stand Tall t-shirt. The proceeds went to Hurricane Harvey relief through Clear Creek Community Church. He and his wife Karen served as the honorary co-chairs for the Canines, Cats, and Cabernet for Operation Kindness. Benny participates in a lot of community events like the Boys and Girls Club of Arlington, Champions for Kids Breakfast, Austin Street Shelter, Miracle League, and many more. He participated in the Don't Mess with Texas Pledge to Plant Smart campaign. And he's given a lot of money to the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, where his wife Karen serves on the advisory board. So very, very active in the community. It's Tochi leads things off here in the 6th inning. It is charity night tonight. So we just try to give a little insight, a little color to some of these guys, and maybe draw attention to another side of their personalities that you may not know. This Tochi goes to 0-2. But that little note on Banny takes me back to a question I just could not get out a couple innings ago, Tom, and that was after games when these guys go out and do all this stuff. You were a general manager, you were a player, you were involved in all this stuff. That seems like a lot to ask of people. I mean, I hate to say that. I mean, I love the fact that everybody goes out and they do it, but sometimes I'm surprised at how much they do contribute like that.
Yeah, I can only speak, you know, for myself when I was a player, and I can remember several times, day of a game, Jimmy Pearsall, the famous ball player, worked in our PR department, and he would go around the Metroplex and do clinics. And I can remember going around day of a game until maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon, helping him give clinics. Yeah, I can remember a couple of times after a game going to a birthday party in one of the suites after a game. And it's the kind of thing, it doesn't feel like a burden. I think most of the guys feel how fortunate they are to be a big league player. And your time is something that you allocate, but a lot of time is allocated to try to give back and show the appreciation that you have for the opportunity that you have to be a big league ball player. I think fortunately that's the way most players look at it, and the ones you're talking about it and the things they do, I don't think any of them look at it like it's any part of a burden. I think they look at it like, okay, this is something that means a lot to our fans, might mean a lot to a kid, and like the story you told about Shin-Soo Choo, it's the kind of things that you just do because you want to, not because someone's asking you or making you. So I think that's the way the ball players look at it for the most part. There's certainly times where they probably say, no, I can't do it today because they have a family obligation. You're not going to ask the starting pitcher that day to go out and be involved in some kind of community affair. But for the whole time that I've been here, from 1972 till now, I've always seen the players and the front office people be perfectly willing to do that whenever they can.
Well, it's pretty inspiring. I mean, they put in long hours and then go out and spend additional time contributing where they can. 3-1 the count here to Choo.
And you know, it's actually rewarding in so many ways. I mean, I've been here for a long time, and I can't tell you how many times over the last 15 or 20 years I've had someone come up to me and say, I remember when you blah blah blah, you came to my birthday party, you came to my school, you signed my autograph. And you say to yourself, when you see how well they remembered that and what it meant to them, you say to yourself, I'm so glad that I took the time to do that, and so glad I bumped into the person that was there, because it just makes you feel good. It's actually doing something for yourself as much as you're doing something for someone else.
Choo draws his second walk of the game. So the Rangers have a base runner on here in the 6th inning, and Rougned Odor coming to the plate. Well said. In fact, it's funny because, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Fans weren't privy to it, but we had a couple of guests up here in the booth yesterday before the game and in the early innings, and it was fun because I hadn't met them before, but they knew you, and they've known you for a long time from an event that you have attended on a handful of different occasions, and that was really cool. It was really cool to see them and to hear their stories and recollections of some of the past run-ins.
Yeah, I met a man named Bob Weinfeld a long time ago, and he asked me to speak at the Temple Shalom annual dinner that they have for their softball league. There's a couple hundred people there. Wives are there, kids are there.
Odor smashes this one high in the air, deep to right field. Will it have enough? It's gone! Just enough to get into the wedgie down there in right field. A two-run homer. And the Rangers are in double digits.
Well, Mitch Haniger didn't catch that ball, but he went all out and had that thing timed perfectly. Watch Haniger when he goes to the wall and times it. He can't get to the ball, but if that ball was over the wall by 1.5 feet, he probably would have caught it. Ruge had a two-run double. Now he has a two-run homer. And I don't know if we get to see Haniger or not, but check him going up into the wall. I mean, that's about as great an effort as you can make. And Ruge picked the right part of the ball to hit that to.
Well, this one smashed out to center field. And
did he catch that? Wow. That's one of the better catches of the year right there.
I still haven't seen the baseball.
I think he caught it.
Wow.
There's a lot of times where you get to the wall and you stop and you jump and you catch it. But when you catch one like this, where you're sprinting full speed without regard to the wall and you jump and make that, now you're talking a degree of difficulty is about as tough as it gets. That is a tremendous play. I can remember almost a similar play that Ken Griffey made against us in Seattle. And that's been on highlight tapes for 20 years. And the one that Maben just made, that deserves to be on highlight reel for a long time, too. You know, you'll see a guy go to the wall, jump up, go over the wall, bring it back, and sometimes it gets more respect than that kind of a play.
This ball is hammered to center. Gone! Adrian Beltre off his good buddy Felix Hernandez. Having some fun here at Globe Life Park. Felix had the laugh early. Beltre will save the laugh here because it has turned into a tough night for Felix Hernandez.
They've got a rivalry and they've got a friendship, but each one of them knows when to perform and when not to perform. And the way that Felix is getting bounced around this inning gives Adrian, I don't think, any great joy to see his buddy get pummeled like this. And I think the last thing he was going to do going around the bases is point to him and try to carry on. And he knows that Felix has no interest in that right now.
Profar launches this one a mile in the air near first, and that will do it. A career high runs off Felix Hernandez. There's the smile. Here we go to the seventh. It's 11-4.
The Mariners, as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington, and we are highlighting the charitable efforts of these Texas Rangers tonight. And all these guys are good guys. All of them do great work in the community, but there may be no more thoughtful soul on this Texas Rangers roster than Robinson Chirinos. And through the Robinson Chirinos Foundation, our backstop participates in several community activities throughout the season and off-season. Partnering with the Refuge Church, Robinson has hosted a back-to-school block party outreach event in Fort Worth, donating backpacks filled with school supplies, and the event features free haircuts, food, dental personal supplies and groceries as well. Many of Robinson's teammates join in the backpack distributions along with him and his wife Heidi. He also hosts an annual dinner for residents of Arlington Life Shelter, providing healthy meals as well as goodie bags with winter essentials. Chirinos also visits senior centers, hosts a baseball camp in Venezuela, and sent his hometown some much needed food items, kitchen and medical supplies, as well as participates in the winter caravan. Robinson Chirinos, guys, he's one of those fellas that you just can't help but root for.
Boy, I couldn't agree with you more, Em. Well said.
Well, impossibly nice as Herman fouls this one away. Herman 1 for 2 tonight. And Robinson and his whole family, his extended family, it's been quite an eventful year. And we told that story earlier in the season. His sister applying for political asylum here to the United States earlier in the season and was granted asylum. And this one lofted out to left field. And Calhoun makes the play, 1 away. That was a really meaningful part of not just the season, but his life to get his family over here to safety after some real serious scares back home in Venezuela, a country right now going through just an awful time. One away, and now here is Cameron Maben. And Bartolo Colon, by the way, ran into a bump or two in the second inning, but has settled in nicely. Right-hander starting to cruise a little bit, working with a 7-run lead.
Well, he said it quite a bit over his last 4 or 5 starts that he has been tied with Dennis Martinez for the most wins by a Latin-born pitcher, 245, and he's in pretty good position if the Rangers can hold this lead to get the one that puts him ahead.
Maben with a base hit. Calhoun bobbles, and now Maben will head to second base. That's an error on Willie Calhoun.
He's kind of overran that. Might have taken his eye off the ball. Sometimes those balls are so easy that you just get a little careless. Maben certainly didn't expect that to happen.
So he's out there at second base, and Romine swings through strike 1. Andrew Romine sent into a double play. He has singled and scored a run. Yeah, this is a big night, an important night for Bartolo Colon. Had a couple of history-making evenings already this year, and this was really kind of the last big accomplishment or milestone that was on the list this season for Bartolo. Dennis Martinez of Nicaragua, 245 wins in his career. Bartolo has already tied him. And this would break that tie and leave him alone at the top of the heap. Romine hits this one well to center field. Tochi, good speed, able to track it down. Maben will move up to third base, but they're 2 away. So earlier in the year, Bartolo was chasing and then passed Juan Marichal, and that was one of the big ones to become the all-time winningest pitcher from the Dominican Republic. And passed the Dominican dandy, but then, well, why not? Martinez was there. Catch him too, and let's just call it all of Latin America. Bartolo wants to become the winningest all time, and he could do that tonight.
Well, there's been a lot of great pitchers come out of Latin America, and to be #1, I'm sure, is would be an incredibly meaningful thing to him.
The strike in there to D. Gordon. 1 for 2, had the sacrifice bunt last time. Looks like Gordon would disagree with the call. One and one. So many things that Cologne has achieved in his career. It's just his 21st season in the big leagues. Only one other active player in Major League Baseball who could boast that same accomplishment. He's playing third base. They're the only two active players who have appeared in 20 or more Major League seasons. A lot of experience on the diamond right now. Two and two. Bartolo has earned at least one victory with each of the 11 Major League teams for whom he has pitched. There aren't many guys who can boast that accomplishment. It's one of just 5. Comebacker, and what do you know?
Wow.
Yep.
I'd say 10%, no, maybe less than that, of pitchers catch that ball. That's beautiful.
That's why he's the big sexy.
This ball comes back at him 100 miles an hour. He's in perfect position to field that ball. That's the thing of beauty, boy. I admire him.
Casey Donahue performed a post-game concert on Saturday, August 18th, presented by Budweiser. Angels and Rangers, 7:05 game, and then the concert afterward. Just go to TexasRangers.com/concerts for game tickets and information on how you can see Casey Donahue from the field. Now, new pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, Chasen Bradford, also working a pretty impressive mustache. The Mariners bullpen really doing some fine facial work.
You need to grow a mustache.
I can't do that.
You can't do it?
No, I do not.
Not even if you tried?
I could try as hard as I want.
I think you ought to, like, maybe on the last day of the season, maybe paint one on. just to give it a shot. Yeah, I might not go so far as the Fu Manchu paint on, but you know, just around your lip, just to say this is what I wish I could do.
Yeah, I'd apply one of those, you know, sticky, like fake mustaches, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, this ball on a line out to right field, won't have enough height. Off the base of the fence, Gallo just pummeled that ball. Now to second.
Watch your wrist.
And they got him.
Wrist.
You can see the way he gets out. That one did not feel good. A single, but then out at second base. 9-5 the put out.
That's one as a hitter. You're watching that. What happens is you round first base and you just say, there's no way I'm taking a single on this. I'm going for it. And unfortunately, Haniger came up and made a perfect throw. I'd say not most of the time, but at least half the time you're going to be safe on that ball. The outfielder is not going to make a strong and perfect throw like that, which is what it took to get Joey.
Well, he hit it too dadgum hard.
He did. That ball went, I mean, Haniger looked like he was standing still as that ball went over his head. That was roped.
110 miles per hour. You hit that 108, and maybe you're safe.
Maybe you make it.
1-1. Now Chirinos, a walk. He's been hit by a pitch, reached on an error. What an eclectic night it has been for him. Rangers leading 11-4. So Bradford, the first man up out of the bullpen today. This ball smashed down to third, and Seager makes the play this time, 2 away.
Well, if you're Bradford, you say, well, they hit those balls pretty well, but I've got 2 outs and nobody on. Joey's went 110. Robinson's had to be in the 105 to 106 range because he hit that ball pretty hard.
Bradford's living right.
Man.
Now Willie Calhoun, who has absolutely crushed some balls tonight, but is 1 for 2 with a sac fly. Now the Chirinos line out right there, 100 miles per hour. So you're right. Hit that one awfully hard.
I would have said harder than that. I've been wrong. But when you see Joey hit that ball 110, there's just not a lot of guys consistently hitting balls 110. That's how hard you have to hit it. If Robinson's was 10 miles an hour slower than that, it's supposed to show you how strong Joey is.
1-1 to Willie Calhoun, a 23-year-old rookie. Played 13 games with the club last year after the trade with LA. Brought him over from the Dodgers farm system. 1-1. Chopper down to first. And Ryan Healy will feed Bradford to complete the inning. And that guy, he's doing something right. It's 11-4 as we go to the 8th. Jeffrey Springs, the left-hander, will be making his third Rangers appearance, and he's looked pretty good in his first two.
He has looked good. He had an effective fastball and a really good changeup. Only 4 innings, but a nice opponent's batting average. Slider, changeup, fastball, curve. Throws all the pitches. But the one that the hitters have the biggest problem with is his changeup.
Well, he gets a 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this 8th inning. Haniger, Span, and Nelson Cruz. But the Rangers working with a 7-run advantage.
There's the changeup. Looks just like his fastball. He's got a perfect delivery for the deception it takes to throw a good curveball.
He works with pretty good tempo. When he gets the baseball back, he's usually set to go and dumps that one down low. 1 and 2. I mentioned the other day, he was telling me the story of his call up when we were in Arizona, and he was late to the ballpark. Tough travel day. But I was intrigued by one portion of the call up story and that travel day for him. There's strike 3 called, and he gets Haniger looking 1 away in the 8th.
Kind of a high changeup, but it did look like it caught the rectangle. Well, almost caught the rectangle.
Close enough. Well, that day he got the call up. You get the call. Phone rings. Hey, you're going to the big leagues. Here's your flight. You have time to get nothing. Don't do anything. Just go straight to the airport and get on the plane. I don't want you grabbing. Don't put together a duffel bag of. I
don't have my
300
wallet.
No, nothing. Just go. And I think that's crazy. It's like a scene out of like some action movie, right? The cops are coming. Grab nothing. Just leave. And so he just jumped in a car, ran to the airport, and we told the story the other day how he was barely made the flight as they're closing the door. Showed up to the ballpark, and then the next day was able to go retrieve everything.
Showed up to the ballpark with no complaints whatsoever.
Exactly.
And a great story to tell for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he got done with the whole story, and I was just kind of marveling at it. And he said, and I would do it every single day.
Well, he's going to be asked about that over and over after he's done as a player. What do you remember about your first game? Where was it? And it's a story he'll never forget, and it'll be a great story when he tells it.
Well, his 1-1 to Denard Span. Bouncer, first base. Kind of a high hop there for Profar. Springs wins the foot race. 2 away. Well, the Rangers score, you save. And the Rangers scored more than 10 runs against the Baltimore Orioles. In fact, they did that in the first game of that series. So that means you get $10 off full price tickets in the Lexus Club Terrace, corner box, upper reserve, and upper box seating sections to upcoming Rangers games. The discount applies tomorrow afternoon against the Mariners in the finale, plus the upcoming series against the Diamondbacks. Use the online coupon code RUNS at texasrangers.com/specials. Grab a friend, come on out. Strike to Nelson Cruz. He was home today, 1 for 3. Jumps ahead 0-2. So Springs in here and sort of on par with what we have seen in his previous couple of outings. Not a lot of messing around. Goes right after hitters, 1-2 the count. Opposing batters, 1 for their last 12 now. With no walks, 5 strikeouts. Made his big league debut Tuesday in Arizona. He was pitching well with Round Rock and earlier with Frisco in the Rangers system. 4 minor league seasons with the Rangers, and he was striking out roughly 1/3 of all batters he faced. 32.2%. Marquette Cruz to chase that one low. Full count. In fact, last year he led all of Rangers minor league pitchers with strikeouts at 146. And you mentioned it, Tom, the changeup is really the signature for him.
He's got a good enough fastball too. 91, 92 miles an hour. The last 2 fastballs to Nelly Cruz. All 3 of them, same place, up and high, high and out of the strike zone. Maybe trying to throw him a little too hard to Nelly.
Well, he puts him on here. 2 away. It'll bring up Kyle Seager. But first, a word from our friends at Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
All right, so now it's to work from the stretch here with Cruz over at first. Not a real threat to be moving anytime soon, especially with a 7-run deficit. Seager takes off the plate, ball 1. He is homered tonight. What do you know? Cruz and Seager, the 2 home runs for Seattle. And any Ranger fan who has watched the Rangers and Mariners play a game, if you had to pick a name or 2 out of the hat, out of the lineup, those would be the 2 you would pick. And once again today, they were the ones who, in fact, got the Mariners out to the early lead. It was 3-0 when we went to the bottom of the 3rd. And 3-0. Well, Bartolo Colon tonight went 7 innings, allowed 4 runs on 8 hits. No walks, 1 strikeout for him. Bartolo left with a big lead and a chance to become the winningest pitcher all time among Latin-born major leaguers. Now 3-1 to count. Cruz at first, they don't bother holding him. And a bouncer up the middle. Andrews right there. Low flip. Beltre had to cover some ground to get there. Oh, spread your wings, Condor Sr. Really hustle to get there. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Rangers by 7. Responsibly. So bottom of the 8th inning, Rangers up by 7, and Carlos Tocci will start things off here. Bradford only needed 8 pitches last inning, so he gets another inning of work. And Guillermo Heredia He's coming to the ball game for Seattle. He's out in right field. Tochi, meanwhile, 1 for 3, had a single in the 3rd inning, scored a run. One. Mentioned it yesterday, the Mariners used 7 pitchers in relief of Wade LeBlanc. LeBlanc started the game and was nearly untouchable. And then at 82 pitches in the 7th inning, he was relieved of any more work. Tochi hits this ball hard out over short, and that's a base hit. Carlos is on to start the 7th. Great rally.
Dave, it's time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's revisit the outing for Bartolo Colon. He threw a lot of strikes and he fielded his position beautifully. Didn't walk a batter in the game. He fielded slowly hit balls. He fielded a hard hit ground ball. He fielded a bunt. And the best one he fielded was that rope right there, coming back at him 100 miles an hour. He's a big guy, but not many pitchers field their position better than he does. He ended up going 7 innings tonight and did a great job. 8 hits, 4 runs. Has a chance to become the all-time winningest pitcher born in Latin America.
And so much fun to watch, and when he's performing, especially like he was tonight, 2-0 the count. Such an entertainer on top of being a good pitcher. And an entertainer in that sort of really dry way, right? I mean, as a comedian, you would say he has a dry wit. I mean, he never shows anything out there.
No, but you know, you can tell he's having the same kind of fun that Elvis and Adrian have when they play.
2 balls and a strike on Chu.
Rangers came into the game having scored 111 runs since the All-Star break, and having hit 29 home runs. That led the major leagues in runs and home runs since the All-Star break, and they've certainly added to that today with 11 runs and 3 more home runs, which shows you how well Wade LeBlanc threw against them last night. He just shut them down last night.
You know, what's crazy was, I was mentioning how he was lifted in that 7th inning. Afterward, Scott Servais said, well, he wanted to manage his bullpen the rest of the way. Figured he would handle it, and he had to manage that bullpen, boy. I mean,
he sure did.
7 relievers after that. Lost his 3-0 lead. That was a weird one. And then tonight, Felix Hernandez out there and clearly didn't have it. Stayed in the game and gave up a career-high 11 runs.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for Felix, having watched him his whole career and seen his greatness. It's not fun to watch him at this stage of his career struggling the way he is. His pitches just aren't the same as they used to be. And he's still out there giving it everything he's got, battling with every ounce of strength that he's got. It's just not quite there right now for him. I mean, I'm glad the Rangers have a big lead, but you don't take any pleasure in watching a great player like that struggle.
Bouncer down to first. The throw to second for 1. The relay won't get there in time. So they erase Chu on the fielder's choice. Well, the Rangers have him on the corners. Hey, MLB At Bat is your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. You get Rangers home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news. The list goes on and on. Download MLB At Bat today. I promise you'll like it. All right, here is Elvis Andrus. Bradford gives him a fastball there for a strike. Rangers are 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight, so they have really thrived in these spots. We'll see if Elvis can chip in yet another hit. No balls, 2 strikes. Andrews right now on an impressive hitting streak, 18 games, which he extended tonight. We have Odor, who's been mashing the baseball lately, has won 2 of the last 3 Player of the Week awards in the American League. This one shot down to first, grabbed by Healy. He'll go to the bag and double off Odor. Nothing Rookie could have done on that one. Inning over. Rangers leave a man at third. We go to the 9th inning. It's 11-4. He gives us so much to smile about with his on-field antics, but he also gives back to the community in a lot of ways. Proceeds from his Uncorked for a Cause in celebration of his 3,000th hit. Gone to relief efforts throughout through the J.J. Watts Foundation and the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation. He's also made a personal donation to the J.J. Watts Foundation. In support of the RBI program, he underwrote the cost of the indoor field at the Texas Rangers Academy. And his charitable ways also include giving to foundations such as Robinson Chirinos, Pedro Martinez, Michael Young and family, and the Hamels, Cole Hamels, who does so much in the community, among many, many more. And there is none greater. A Hall of Famer on the field. We know that. Beltre very much a Hall of Famer off the field as well. One of the all-time great dudes ever. Ryan Healy.
Find another example of why baseball is an amazing game.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a pretty good chance of playing this game in less than 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah.
And it's 11-4. We've played plenty of 2-1 games that have lasted 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, no doubt. Odor makes a really nice play out there at second base, staying with that one. One away.
There's been some hard hit balls that have ended up in outs today. And I think all you have to do is ask Elvis. Elvis hit the ball that Maben picked off the wall with one of the best plays of the year. And then his last time up hit that smash that Healy turned into a double play. Well, he's 0 for 2 on his last 2 at-bats. There's a ball well hit by Healy himself that Rugi turns into an out. There's been a lot more than that, too. Bartolo had the one hit back at him that he turned into an out. Gordon hit that one. 7th inning.
Yeah, your point's a good one, though, by the way. I mean, you see 11-4 these days, and you're like, ooh, but that was a longer game. A lot of pitchers, probably. That has not been the case. That Healy ball, by the way, just a moment ago, 107.
Was it? It looked like it.
1-1 from Springs. Oh! Fouled into the on-deck circle. Maben was right there, and that one got him.
He didn't even flinch. Boy, that's one you don't see very often.
Literally, I'm not sure. Not sure he saw much of that at all.
Oh man!
Yep.
That was almost a showstopper. Wow. I remember when Josh Hamilton used to let go of the bat occasionally, and he let go of it over Adrian's head one time, and Adrian went back in the dugout, wouldn't get in the on-deck circle after that. Boy, Maben took that one, and he didn't even flinch. It was like someone tossed him a ball.
Mommy.
Herman hit that right off the end of the bat.
2-2 on Herman. Springs waits to no time. This ball in the air out to left field. Calhoun back to the wall. Pardon me, Robinson. And that one off the wall. Herman will go to second base with a one-out double. And now the baseball kind of going all over the place. Finally, it's corralled. And that gives us a moment now. We can hear once again from our friends over at Kia.
When you're America's best value, you don't need some over-the-top celebration.
So, Herman at second, one out. And Cameron Maben smiling. He's happy to be alive right now. People say, you know, just happy to be here. Yep, that's Cameron right now. Happy to be here.
They also say it's a game of inches, too.
Oh, man. He's had 2 hits tonight, not counting the one he just took in the on-deck circle. Springs pitched last inning. And this ball hit hard down the left field line. Foul. Well, not foul by a whole lot. 0-2 the count. Assist for Dad. Bringing the glove, that's important. Bringing Dad, just as important. Here's the 0-2 in the dirt. Okay, looking ahead, by the way, we'll wrap up this series tomorrow, but then it's off to New York. Face the Yankees and our Ford Probables Thursday, and our pregame will begin at 5:30 here on Fox Sports Southwest. Ariel Jurado against Jay Happ, the new Yankee. That'll be a good pitching matchup. Happ will be an important part of things for the Yankees down the stretch. Jurado has been great in his recent starts with the Rangers, just 22 years old. So looking forward to that. A 4-game series in the Bronx beginning Thursday night. Two-two. A slow squibber to second base. Odor's going to have to hustle. He does. And they get Maben 2 away. Well, Bartolo Colon, close to history. After working hard today, able to keep warm down there with that hoodie on. And playing one of his favorite games. He loves to, I don't know what the fascination is all of a sudden with him, but he wants to pop those cups in the dugout and scare guys. Little scribber down to first. Profar takes it to the bag, and that completes it. What a night tonight for the Rangers. Offense was rolling, and Bartolo Colon stands alone at the top of the heap, the all-time winningest pitcher in Latin American history. He now stands with 246 wins in his career, passing Dennis Martinez, longtime holder from Nicaragua, and there you see it. Bartolo has gotten over the hump, and our congrats to Big Sexy. 11-4, Rangers win this one. Stay with us. We'll get back to wrap it up in just a moment.